Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new video. Today is reporting is of the regarding the Kilmar Abrego case. Maryland resident, who is a Maryland resident, that ICE illegally, unlawfully, wrongfully, unconstitutionally, and unlawfully, and overall wrongfully, in violation of a 2019 court order that they knew about. Mind you, that they willfully, illegally ignored from a 2019 immigration judge that prohibited him from being deported back to El Salvador in fear of persecution from local gang members who unlawfully, illegally targeted his family. Let's get into today's reporting by CBS News. The article, ladies and gentlemen, is titled, "Judge Pauses Demand for More Details on Kilmar Abrego Garcia After Accusing Trump Administration of Bad Faith." And ladies and gentlemen, that article reads, a federal judge on Wednesday temporarily halted her order requiring the Trump administration to provide information on its efforts so far to retrieve Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador last month, just one day after accusing the administration of demonstrating bad faith in the proceedings. Earlier Wednesday, the Department of Justice asked Maryland-based U.S. District Judge Paula Zenas, XINIS, to stay her directive to provide testimony and the documents on Abrego Garcia for 7 days, and Abrego Garcia's lawyers filed a response. Hours later, Zenas, XINIS, granted a stay of the discovery process until April 30 at 5 p.m., with the quote, "the agreement of the parties," unquote. The reason for the stay is unclear since both parties' filings are sealed. Zenas, XINIS, did not explain her reasoning. Abrego Garcia's attorney Simon Sandoval Moschenberg told CBS News in a statement his team is, quote, "not at liberty to speak about the current status of the case at this time," unquote, citing the seal on the court documents, adding, "We we remain focused on bringing Kilmar Abrego Garcia's home, and we will not rest until he is brought home," unquote, he added. CBS News has reached out to the Department of Homeland Security and the Justice Department for comment. Zenas's XINIS apostrophe decision to stay discovery for a week came one day after Abrego Garcia's legal team accused the Trump administration of failing to follow her order for expedited discovery in the case. In a scathing order Tuesday, Xinis, Xinis, said the administration had shown a, quote, willful and bad faith refusal to comply with discovery obligations, unquote, and ordered the government to respond to questions by Wednesday at 6 p.m. Abrego Garcia, a Salvadoran man who entered the U.S. illegally in 2011, was detained last month and flown to El Salvador, part of a wave of hundreds of migrants, including alleged gang members, sent by the Trump administration illegally to the country's notorious terrorism confinement center, CCOT, Supermax prison. A judge previously barred Abrego Garcia from being removed to El Salvador in 2019, rightfully, legally, and constitutionally and lawfully. Ladies and gentlemen, my editorials note: citing the risk of persecution by the country's gangs. The Trump administration conceded in court Abrego Garcia's deportation was an, quote, administrative error, unquote, but has declined to return him to the U.S., accusing him of membership in the MS-13 gang, which his lawyers deny, noting he hasn't been charged with a crime. Abrego Garcia's case has turned into a legal showdown. Xinis, Xinis, ordered the Trump administration to, quote, facilitate his return to the U.S., which the Supreme Court affirmed and upheld. But the Trump administration has argued it's up to El Salvador to return him. Xinis has suggested the government hasn't adequately complied with her orders. The U.S. has claimed that much of the information is protected because it involves state secrets. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a quote lie, and a flat out lie, specifically because, and also because, none of this is related to state secrets. Donald Trump and his lawless, illegal administration and unconstitutional administration and regime is just flat out lazy, and they don't want to pick up the phone and make the phone call. Continuing with the article. The U.S. has claimed that much of the information is protected because it involves state secrets, government deliberations, and attorney-client privilege. But Xinis, Xinis, has rejected the argument and demanded that the Trump administration provide specific justifications for each claim of privileged information by Wednesday evening. A 3-judge panel of the 4th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals scolded the administration last week, saying its claim that it can't do anything to free Abrego Garcia, quote, should be shocking, unquote. That ruling came one day after a federal judge in Washington, D.C. found probable cause to hold the Trump administration in criminal contempt in a different case for violating his orders to turn around planes carrying deportees to El Salvador. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's legal breaking update. If we get more details soon regarding Kilmar Abrego Garcia's illegal deportation and kidnap to El Salvador, you guys will be instantly updated on the legal fronts of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a 29-year-old Maryland resident who was illegally, unconstitutionally, and unlawfully deported. You guys will be instantly updated. Firstly, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for today's legal breaking reporting. If you guys did enjoy this legal breaking reporting, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and enjoy, firstly. And secondly, if you guys want to stay up to date on all the things legal breaking reporting on the side of politics, please hit the bell icon and hit the all notifications options. That's located directly below the screen here on the right hand side of the subscribe button. Thirdly, ladies and gentlemen, please help me reach and achieve the goal of 160 subscribers. Or correction, 160 plus subscribers. The reason why I'm saying 160 plus subscribers, ladies and gentlemen, is because right after we reach and achieve the goal of 160 subscribers, we have more subscribers to achieve and reach right after we reach and achieve the goal of 160 subscribers. Fourthly, ladies and gentlemen, please stay positive, stay safe, and know that justice will prevail despite Donald Trump's and his illegal administration and regime's unconstitutional, illegal, and lawlessness efforts.